Let me ask you something. Have you ever felt like teaching your first year was less about education and more about survival? Like no one told you that you'd spend more time actually chasing sharpened pencils than inspiring young minds? Well, that was me, fresh out of college, bright eyed, armed with binders of lesson plans. And within 2 weeks, I was thinking, what in the world did I sign up for? Okay. Here's a stat that just blew me away. Okay. Nearly half of all new teachers quit within their first 5 years. That's right. Almost half. And you know what the number one reason for that is? Burnout is the number one reason. It's not because of lack of skill or lack of content knowledge. It's just pure exhaustion. So today I want to kind of flip the script. Instead of piling more on your plate, I want to talk about the things I quit. Okay. The things that saved my sanity and made me a better teacher. And I promise if you stick with me, you'll hear the hardest one I had to quit, something I clung to for dear life. But once, I let it go, everything changed. Welcome to the Teacher Rockstar podcast, the podcast built to give you practical tips, real stories, and strategies you can actually use in your classroom. I'm your host, Steve Hiles, a veteran teacher, and today we're going to be talking about 5 things I quit. Not giving up, just letting go of the junk that really doesn't serve you. Okay. The first thing, I quit grading everything. Let's start right there. I quit grading every single piece of paper that came across my desk. Story time. First year, Friday night. All my friends were out eating wings. I was at home grading 27 long division worksheets, every single one of them. And you know what? By worksheet number 21, I couldn't even do long division anymore. Here's the kicker. The kids didn't even look at half the comments I bled all over their papers. I was wasting hours and I was cranky the next morning. And it wasn't just me. A 2019 RAND study found that teachers spend on average 11 hours a week, outside of contract time, regarding grading papers and preparation. Okay, now think about that. That's 440 hours a year, basically an unpaid second job. So I made a shift, quit checks, exit tickets, even letting students self check certain assignments. Now, it wasn't about being lazy, it was about giving feedback faster while keeping myself alive. And you know what happened? Students started caring more. Okay. Because they got feedback while the learning was still fresh, not 2 weeks later. Okay. Now, the second thing I quit the Pinterest perfect classroom. Okay. Confession time. I once spent 2 weekends, 2 full weekends, making sure my bulletin boards matched perfectly at the corners. I'm talking about measuring tape, okay, staple gun precision. I thought I was creating the Taj Mahal of classrooms. Monday morning rolls around, and guess what happens? Okay, the kids walk in. The first comment, "Hey, do we have recess today?" Not one kid noticed my symmetrical borders. And here's what research says. The University of Salford study found classroom decor affects learning only when it's functional. Okay? So, too much visual clutter, students' attention drops. So, all that rainbow sparkler border, it was actually hurting attention. That's why I quit decorating for Instagram. I decorated for flow. Okay? Meaning what? Okay, clear pathways, labels kids could read, not fonts that looked cute. Okay? Supplies that were within reach. And you know what happened? The vibe changed overnight. Classroom management got easier because kids could navigate the space without asking me a million questions. Okay. Like, where is this at? Or where do I go to do this? Or where do I find that? those kinds of things.
The Teacher Rockstar Academy course is meticulously designed to equip you with the tools and strategies needed to skyrocket your effectiveness as a teacher. Curious to know if the Teacher Rockstar Academy course is the missing piece in your teaching journey? If you're ready to reclaim control of your classroom and witness the incredible impact on your students, then use the link in the podcast description to learn more about this program.
All right, moving on. I quit saying yes to everything. Okay. Let me throw a curveball at you. The fastest way to burn out, it's not the bad kids. It's not bad lessons. It's saying yes to every single thing that comes down the pike. Okay. I learned that the hard way. I said yes to tutoring, yes to coaching, yes to covering other teachers' classes. At one point, I was running on caffeine and pure panic. But here's what the data says. Okay, Gallup reports teachers who work 50 plus hours a week are twice as likely to experience burnout. And first year teachers, let me tell you something, they're the easiest targets because everyone knows you're trying to prove yourself. And by October, I was drained. I wasn't showing up in my classroom the way that I wanted to. So I started asking myself 2 questions before saying yes. Okay, does this help my students? Does this help me grow as a teacher? Now, if not, I politely declined. And guess what? The school didn't collapse, okay, but my energy skyrocketed. Okay. The next thing I quit comparing myself to other teachers, okay? I quit comparing myself to every super teacher out there. Social media was a trap. Instagram, TikTok, teacher blogs, so many perfect classrooms, flawless lesson plans, and smiling kids in matching uniforms. And I, sitting there grading, stressing, thinking I was failing. Newsflash, those highlight reels aren't real life. Comparison stole my confidence and added stress for zero benefit. So, you know what? I stopped scrolling. I stopped measuring my worth against someone else's snapshot. Instead, I focused on my students, my classroom, and my growth. And here's the kicker. The more I focused inward, okay, the more my students thrived. And I started to actually enjoy teaching, okay? Now, let me tell you about the hardest thing I had to quit, and that was perfection, okay? That's right. I quit perfection. And trust me, this one hurt because if you're, anything like me, you want to get it right. You want the perfect lesson, the perfect classroom, the perfect teacher image. But here's the ugly truth. Perfection is a mirage, okay? You keep chasing it. It keeps moving further and further away. And my students, they didn't need perfection. They needed presence. They needed me rested, smiling, laughing at my own corny jokes. They needed a real person, not a robot chasing perfection. The day I quit perfection, everything changed. Teaching got lighter. I stopped beating myself up for a messy lesson. And the kids, well, they connected with me more than ever. All right. So here's the recap. Okay. I quit grading everything. I quit the Pinterest perfect classroom. I quit saying yes to everything. I quit comparing myself to other teachers, and I quit perfection. And the result? Time back, energy restored, confidence rebuilt, and a career that didn't eat me alive. Okay. Now here's my challenge to you. Pick just one thing that I talked about in this video, just one thing this week, just one, and watch how much lighter you feel. Now remember, okay, quitting the right thing isn't giving up. It's making room for the teacher that you were meant to be. Well, that's a wrap for us today. If this helps you, share it with another teacher who might need the reminder, and we will see you same time, same place next week. Okay? And remember, my friend, you got this.
You've been listening to the Teacher Rockstar Podcast with your host, Steve Hiles. We hope you've enjoyed this podcast as much as we have. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and join our ever-growing community of Teacher Rockstars. Until then, thanks for listening.